Hello everybody. Today is the first class of a series of classes on news translation. In order to be a news translator, you need to know a little bit about journalism. You yourself need to be and should be a journalist, a reporter. So before we talk about news translation in today's class, we'll talk about a little bit about journalism, writing news, writing for the media. And I will give you in today's lesson 10 tips about writing for the media. The first tip is begin with the key words. Always begin with key words. Key words meaning the most important information. The most important information you want to give to the reader, want your reader and the audience to know. Always imagine that your reader doesn't have time to read the whole report. So always try to put the most important facts at the beginning. Start with the most important information. I will talk about that later when we come to discuss how to translate news. This is the first tip. The second tip: always use direct, simple, dynamic, and lucid words. Don't use complicated and complex sentences. Always use the shorter, the simpler words. Use easy language, easy structure of sentences. Don't complicate things for yourself and for your reader. The third tip is news writing requires speedy writing, speedy translation. So whether you write news or translate news, you need to do that quickly, very fast. You need to work around the clock. You need to update your news maybe every hour, especially in our time that everything goes around us very fast. The fourth tip is editing and proofreading and revising your news report. Once you finish your news report, you need to proofread it, revise it, edit it before it's finally ready to be out. The fifth tip is that you should know that news covers everything around us, everything in life. News covers it. So you need to know a little bit about everything. You need to know something about everything. You need to inform yourself of something about everything around you. Tip number 6. In our time, advanced technology invaded journalism as it has invaded everything in our life. So you need to know something about electronics, and you know how to use electronics, how to go online and use the internet, and you should be familiar with all this new technology. And I think now everybody knows all this technology, how to use this technology very easily. Tip number 7. Be subjective in your opinion, but write in objective style. Meaning, when you write a news report, you must use an objective style, objective writing style. You cannot use subjective, emotional words. However, in the end, you represent certain stance, certain political, ideological stance. You represent the news agency you work for, and that news agency and its newspaper always affiliate themselves with certain ideology. So you always represent that ideology or that political stance, whatever it is. But you always, when you write, when you cover certain news, even though you have to use objective style, but we all know that in the end, the way you show things, the way you present the news, or what kind of news you present, is always subjective. There is nothing called total objectivism. There is nothing called objective system, because this objective system, or this so-called objective system, is always built of individuals who are subjective themselves. So always be objective in your writing, but subjective in the way you choose and select the news you give to your present to your readers, and what kind of news you present to your readers. Tip number 8: always be truthful and honest and credible in your writing. Don't report false news. Always report true and true facts, so that you may gain the trust of your reader. Because nowadays we read a lot of false news, and in the end we lose our trust in the newspaper and in the certain journalists when we see them always report false news to us. In Chinese they have a saying in this: 不看新闻会和社会脱节，看了新闻会和事实脱节. So always try to be truthful in the way you report your news. Number 9: be updated. You need to update your news every hour at most. Especially, as I said earlier, in our time, in this fast-pacing time and world. Tip number 10: the main idea why you write a news report is to spread the news. You want everybody to know about the news you are writing. So try to select news that are popular for all ages, popular for all people. Even though you may be working for a certain newspaper or a certain magazine that addresses certain type of people, for example young people or certain people of education level, this is another case, but in general try to select the news that you think that will be popular for all ages and all kind of people coming from all walks of life. This is very quick 10 tips on writing for the media. In the lesson number 2, we'll talk about news translation. Thank you.
فكر في واجبك كما تفكر في حقك، واعمل طلبا للإتقان لا طلبا للشهرة والجزاء، ولا تنتظر من الناس أكثر مما يحق للناس أن ينتظروه منك.